Football fans, stay right here and do not skip a second, because today's lineup is not about hype, big names, or noise. It's about patterns, pressure, and matches that quietly decide themselves long before the final whistle. Some games scream goals, others whisper control, and a few sit right in the middle, where discipline, timing, and momentum decide everything. Today's fixtures fall perfectly into those categories, and if you understand how these games naturally unfold, you already know the ending before kickoff. What makes today special is that these matches look simple on the surface, but underneath, they are driven by structure, mentality, and match rhythm. This is the type of football analysis that separates casual viewing from confident prediction. Every scoreline you're about to hear fits the flow of the game, not just the badge on the shirt. So settle in, because by the end of this breakdown, you won't just have predictions, you'll understand why these outcomes make sense long before the first goal arrives. Let's go straight into the first matchup. Inter vs Pisa. Correct score 2-0. Prediction: Inter win. This is the kind of fixture where control matters more than chaos. From the opening minutes, the balance of the game leans heavily in one direction. Inter approach this match with a clear structure, patience in build-up, and an understanding of when to accelerate and when to slow things down. The early stages are likely measured rather than explosive. Inter don't need to rush because they understand that dominance doesn't always mean speed, it means territory, possession, and denying the opponent any rhythm. Pisa, on the other hand, will try to stay compact, defend deep, and survive the opening pressure, hoping to frustrate rather than fight. As the game settles, Inter's positional discipline begins to stretch the defensive lines. The spaces don't appear all at once, they open gradually. One well-timed movement, one lapse in concentration, and suddenly the defensive block cracks. The first goal changes everything, not because of panic, but because it forces Pisa to abandon caution. Once that happens, Inter gain even more control. They don't overcommit. They don't chase unnecessary risks. Instead, they manage the game intelligently, keeping the ball, forcing Pisa to chase, and waiting for the right moment to strike again. The second goal doesn't come from desperation, it comes from inevitability. With Pisa stretched and chasing shadows, Inter finish the job calmly. From that point forward, the match becomes about preservation rather than ambition. Defensively, Inter remain composed throughout. Pisa struggle to create clear chances, not because of lack of effort, but because the structure in front of them never collapses. The clean sheet feels natural, not lucky. By full time, the scoreline reflects exactly how the match unfolded: firm control, measured attacking, and no unnecessary drama. A professional performance from start to finish. Auxerre vs PSG. Correct score 0-3. Prediction: PSG win. This matchup is defined by contrast, not just in quality, but in approach. Auxerre enter the game knowing they must be cautious, disciplined, and compact. PSG arrive knowing that patience will eventually open doors. The opening phase of the match is quieter than many expect. Auxerre focus on shape, limiting space, and staying organized, while PSG circulate the ball, testing reactions rather than forcing immediate breakthroughs. This is not a match decided in the first 10 minutes, it's decided by sustained pressure. As possession tilts heavily in one direction, the mental fatigue begins to show. Defending for long stretches isn't just physically demanding, it's mentally draining. One misstep, one poorly timed challenge, one moment of hesitation, and PSG capitalize. The first goal shifts the entire atmosphere. Auxerre are now caught between two decisions: continue defending deep or attempt to push forward. Either choice carries risk, and PSG are perfectly equipped to exploit both. As the game opens up, PSG's movement becomes sharper, quicker, and more decisive. The second goal arrives not because Auxerre stopped trying, but because they can no longer maintain the same level of concentration across the pitch. With the result increasingly out of reach, spaces grow larger, transitions become more dangerous, and PSG's confidence rises. The third goal seals the outcome completely, turning the match from competitive into conclusive. Auxerre's efforts never disappear, but their chances remain limited and speculative. PSG's defensive structure ensures that even when possession changes hands, danger does not follow. By the final whistle, the scoreboard tells a clear story: dominance built patiently, efficiency in front of goal, and a performance that never needed to shift into top gear to be effective. Levante vs Elche. Correct score 2-1. Prediction: over 1.5 goals. This is a fixture shaped by urgency. Both sides approach the match knowing that sitting back offers no advantage. From the opening moments, the tempo is higher, the challenges are sharper, and the intent is clear. Levante look to impose themselves early, pushing forward with purpose and forcing Elche to react rather than dictate. Elche, however, are not content to simply absorb pressure. They respond quickly, pressing higher than expected and looking to exploit moments of transition. The match becomes open, end-to-end at times, with both teams willing to commit bodies forward. Defensive lines are tested frequently, and the ball spends little time in neutral areas of the pitch. The first goal feels almost inevitable given the pace of play. Once it arrives, the game opens up even further. Elche respond with renewed urgency, pushing numbers forward and creating their own moments of danger. The equalizer changes the dynamic again, turning the contest into a tactical battle of timing rather than raw aggression. Levante regain composure, slow the tempo slightly, and begin to pick their moments more carefully. As fatigue sets in, spaces appear between the lines. Levante take advantage of one such moment, breaking through and restoring their lead. From there, the focus shifts to game management, but not without continued pressure from Elche. Even in the closing stages, the match remains alive. Elche push forward searching for another breakthrough, while Levante defend with structure but remain dangerous on the counter. The final whistle arrives with the scoreline reflecting the openness and intent shown by both sides. Goals were always part of this fixture's DNA, and the match delivers exactly that. Carrarese vs Empoli. Correct score 1-2. Prediction over 2.5 goals. This contest is defined by momentum swings. From the very beginning, it's clear that both teams are willing to attack, even if it means exposing themselves at the back. Carrarese start with energy, pressing high and looking to unsettle Empoli early. The intent is aggressive, and it pays off in moments of sustained pressure that force Empoli into uncomfortable positions. However, Empoli's response is calm and calculated. Rather than panicking, they absorb the early intensity and begin to exploit the spaces left behind. The game quickly turns into a back-and-forth exchange, with neither side content to sit deep. The first goal sets the tone for the rest of the match. Instead of tightening up, both teams push forward even more, sensing opportunity rather than risk. Defensive lines rise, transitions become faster, and the match grows increasingly stretched. Carrarese find their moment and level the score, igniting the home side and keeping the contest finely balanced. But that balance doesn't last long. Empoli adjust their approach, become more direct, and regain control of the tempo. The decisive goal comes from sustained pressure rather than a single moment of brilliance. Empoli's ability to remain composed in attacking situations proves decisive as they edge ahead once more. From there, the match becomes intense and physical, with Carrarese throwing everything forward in search of another equalizer. Chances appear at both ends, reinforcing the open nature of the game. When the final whistle blows, the scoreline reflects a match filled with attacking intent, defensive vulnerability, and constant momentum shifts. Goals were always likely, and the game never pretended otherwise. Derby vs West Brom. Correct score 1-1. Prediction: Derby win or draw. This is a classic battle of discipline versus ambition. From kick-off, both teams approach the match cautiously, aware that a single mistake could decide everything. Derby prioritize structure and compactness, focusing on staying organized and limiting space. West Brom look to control possession, but without overcommitting, understanding that patience is essential. The first half is tight, tactical, and physical. Chances are limited, but tension is high. Every duel matters, every second ball is contested, and neither side is willing to give an inch. When the breakthrough finally comes, it doesn't explode the game, it sharpens it. The equal response follows after a shift in momentum, as Derby push forward with renewed confidence, backed by belief rather than desperation. At 1-1, the match settles into a rhythm where both teams respect the danger of overcommitting. Attacks are measured, defensive shape is maintained, and risk is carefully calculated. In the closing stages, the game could swing either way, but composure wins out. Derby remain difficult to break down, while West Brom struggle to find clear openings. The final whistle confirms what the match suggested throughout: balance, discipline, and a result that rewards consistency over risk. Final recap. Let's quickly lock everything in one last time. Inter vs Pisa ends 2-0, with Inter controlling the match and keeping a clean sheet. Auxerre vs PSG finishes 0-3, a dominant away performance built on patience and efficiency. Levante vs Elche delivers 2-1, comfortably clearing the goals line. Carrarese vs Empoli closes 1-2, in a match full of attacking intent and open play. Derby vs West Brom settles at 1-1, with Derby doing enough to secure a win or draw. These predictions are built on structure, tempo, and how games naturally evolve, not hype, not guesswork. If you've watched this far, you're part of a community that understands football beyond the surface. Stay locked in, keep supporting, and keep trusting the process. Share this with fellow fans, stay ready for the next set of fixtures, and as always, football rewards those who read the game, not just the scoreline. Until next time, respect to every true fan watching all the way through.